All right, thank you for staying with us. Honorable Martha Karua is still with me. We are talking about a constitutional review, whether it's necessary or not. And Honorable Karua Gadara here on Twitter is asking that since Honorable Karua is speaking about acting in ways that foster confidence, please ask about her Kibaki decision to throw out the IPPG agreement in 2007 and whether she thinks that was a mistake that fatally undermined the Kivuitu ECK, IPPG being the inter-parties parliamentary group. Do you think that was a mistake?
I don't think so, and I think those who really talk about the IPPG don't seem to know much about it. The IPPG agreement on how to nominate commissioners was trashed by KANU, who refused to make it part of the amendments. And in 1997, President Moi gratuitously gave opposition parties commissioners to nominate. So when you talk of the IPPG deal, which had already been trashed by KANU and had not been enacted into law, you are talking of carrying forward a gratuitous agreement. So there was no law that could make or could be trashed or thrown out. And Kibaki nominated commissioners as per the law as it was. So I don't think it was a mistake. Okay. And anybody who wants to use 2007 as an excuse for mistakes that are repeatedly done is living in the past. Okay. Even if we were to take IPPG, the failure to follow IPPG in 2007 as a mistake, does that mean we stay glued to that mistake moving forward to 2013, to 2017, and until kingdom come, and we ignore the constitution that we passed in 2010? That is my answer. Okay.
And you've been in parliament for a while now. The current constitution really is about separation of powers. But we've seen a lot of acrimony when it comes to the Jubilee Party, people whipping MPs to think in almost a certain line. The ones that did not attend the parliamentary group meeting, we've seen the backlash. Now there's another one tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have we been able to achieve the basics of this constitution, which is just separation of powers, judging from how the executive is relating with the legislature and even the judiciary?
I've said it's the Constitution is what we are dealing with is a reluctance to follow the law by many, many people in authority. And if we are to talk of the ruling Jubilee coalition, I think they have together manipulated the law consistently. It's only now becoming prominent because there is an inter-party war. But when they manipulate to oppress others, they've all been happy and silent. So it is nothing to do with the Constitution, much to do with our behavior.
So now that this constitutional debate is here, which position will NAC be taking and which role will you be playing henceforth?
I talk about NAC Kenya, not NAC. NAC is a party led by my sister Charity Ngilu.
Yes, NAC Kenya.
NAC Kenya is looking at the situation and is ready to play its role. I said, so far, no need to a constitution. Those who come with the proposals, let them make the proposal, be ready to genuinely engage Kenyans, not bring us conclusions. And then we shall debate and see whether it is necessary. But our feeling is the current constitution has not been properly implemented, and there's been reluctance to implement it. What is the need, therefore, of making constitutional changes and continuing to disobey the law? And I'll give an example. The not and two-thirds gender rule has consistently not been implemented. As we stand, the three arms of government, the Supreme Court, the composition does not respect the not more than two-thirds gender rule. When you come to cabinet, they are still short of the requisite gender balance and therefore in violation of the gender rule. You come to Parliament, the National Assembly and the Senate, they've consistently refused to facilitate, to make laws that will facilitate the implementation of the gender rule. If you look at the way we are dealing with human rights, the executive, which is the one that overall looks after institutions like the police, has not paid attention to violations of human rights by the police and by the executive itself when they evict people like they did in Kariobangi South and many other places.
Right.
We are not saying they shouldn't evict for development, but they must provide alternative where it involves masses.
Okay. Honorable Karua, are you working on a third force ahead of 2022 between yourself, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, and Peter Kenneth?
We have not sat down to discuss about the next elections, but we are discussing about fighting on the issues that matter most to Kenyans. We need an alternative narrative in this country, not just a narrative of which side of Jubilee are you supporting. For me and for NARC Kenya, we want neither of the sides. We want to support issues, not personalities. And I think the talks that Kenyan leaders of all walks of life, not just politicians, must have is how to have an alternative voice in Kenya that can focus on the needs of the citizens, not power play.
All right, and Mesha Kipkirui here as we end says, Trevor, ask Martha Karua if she's still vying for presidency in 2022.
To declare, I am ready to serve Kenyans at any capacity, at the county level, at the national, and it is too early. There is no election in sight. For now, I will say I'm able, ready, and willing. And I will offer myself to serve Kenyans.
All right. In what capacity? As the president or the governor of Kirinyaga?
I have said I am not under pressure at all. Just merely because others have declared and are campaigning, I will not feel the pressure or agree to be under pressure.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening, Honorable Martha Karua, leader NARC Kenya, and also the former Minister of Justice, National Cohesion and Constitutional Affairs in 2009. She says there is no need of changing the constitution at this time. There's a lot of feedback here, but I'll just sample a few of them if my director will allow me to quickly just say. Kimutai Meli says, I fully support the president on the constitutional readjustments. Politicians should not politicize the process. We expect the documents to fully address the pressing issues faced by the common mwananchi. And we have Ann K. Katam, who says the time of changing is right, but the motivation and how it is being changed doesn't seem genuine to me. Cornelius Williams says, we are asking for aid to help vulnerable Kenyans. We have floods to deal with. Where shall we find the cash to fund a referendum? It is time for the country to weigh its options there. And Carrington Mwendwa says it is not possible to hold a referendum 2 years to a general election. We would rather have the referendum conducted together with the general election. And Chezake says, what of the IEBC flip-flopping on posting results then deleting? What's the story of 7-year term that will leave one to lazy around in the office until his term goes by? That's all the time that we had for now. We'd have to close it at that point, right? My name is Trevor Mbija. It's always a pleasure having you with us. This conversation has just started, so I'm sure we'll have this conversation again, all right? Is it time for a constitutional review, and why? That's why we leave it for now on behalf of everyone else who made this program possible. And the matching Eula Nzale, she says we are wearing the same colors. Is it purple, brown? You decide. Good night.